You know, people really underestimate how awkward it is to set up a camera and record yourself inside a boxing gym. And this is just my cell phone, mind you. But anyways, we got Zhilei Zhang, Big Bang, up against Joe Joyce. Some big heavyweights, former silver medalist, former Olympians, both of them. One of them got an iron chin. One of them is known for knocking people the hell out. Plus, we got the women's rivalry between Mikaela Mayer and Christina Linadartou. Now, Christina Linadartou doesn't actually have a rivalry with Mikaela Mayer, but what she does have is a win over Alicia Baumgardner, who is Mikaela Mayer's sworn enemy. Anyways, let's talk about that card. Let's head back to the studio and let's chop this up.
I hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
What's up with it, fam? It's Hot Boxing Minute, your favorite pharmaceutical engineer turned boxing analyst, back at you with that uncut realness, because real is the only way that I can serve it to you before we even begin. Hit that like button. If you aren't already following, hit subscribe. You already know the drill. I'm going to be talking about the big fight card this weekend out there at the Copper Box Arena across the pond in the UK. The headline event, Big Bang Zhilei Zhang versus Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce, he won the WBO Interim World Heavyweight Championship title when he beat who did he knock out? Joseph Parker. When he beat him, it set him up as the next in line in the WBO ranking system for Alexander Usyk. The only real winning combatant, the only combatant willing to face Joe Joyce at this juncture, apparently is Zhilei Zhang. Now, this is going to be a fun heavyweight matchup, or at least on paper it looks like it is, based on what we've seen from both of them stylistically. And I definitely wanted to dedicate a video to this. At the end of the video, I'll also talk about the co-main event. And that co-main event involves a women's fight between America's own former Olympian Mikaela Mayer against Christina Linadartou, who is the only girl to have ever beaten Alicia Baumgardner, but I'm going to talk about that one a little bit later. I really wanted to get into Joseph Parker and Zhilei Zhang. And this is a fun matchup. Joseph Parker. Why am I saying Joseph Parker? Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce the Juggernaut and Zhilei Zhang. First things first, both of these guys, they're not the fastest or the most fleet of foot. Definitely not. They're both older gentlemen. They're both massive. I think they're both at least 6'6". How tall is Joe Joyce? Oh yeah, they're both 6'6". Joe Joyce has an 80-inch reach. Zhilei Zhang, it doesn't have it on the listing here under his box rec, but they're both massive individuals. The fun thing about Zhilei Zhang and Joe Joyce fighting each other is that they both have strengths and they both have flaws and they both have exploitable weaknesses that each other can take advantage of depending on who wants to enforce their game plan and implement their game plan most on the night that they do fight. Now, Joe Joyce thus far has an amazing knockout to win ratio. He's undefeated, 15-0 with 14 knockouts. Let me read some of the names of this tear that he's been on. He beat Alexander Ustinov. Knocked out Bermane Stavern. He just, for a guy we were making fun of just a few years ago, Joe Joyce's recent tear, he beat Bermane Stavern, knocked him out. Alexander Ustinov got the stoppage, got a decision win over Brian Jennings, fought Michael Walish, broke Danny Dubois' eye socket, got the knockout, got the stoppage win over Carlos Takam, the stoppage win over Christian Hammer, and knocked out Joseph Parker. That's quite a stunning resume for a guy that only has 15 professional fights. And then this weekend, he's going to be facing his toughest challenge yet, Big Bang Zhilei Zhang from China, who is also himself a fun heavyweight to watch in the ring. So Joe Joyce has his work cut out for him here with Zhilei Zhang. And I think this is going to be a good fight for the fans to watch, especially if you love watching heavyweight boxing. Like I said, it is Joe Joyce versus Zhilei Zhang is kind of a battle between two immovable objects. We always hear a lot about Joe Joyce's chin, and I hate it when people refer to people having granite chins because it means that they take shots, but it's also fun because maybe someday that chin cracks. If it does crack, maybe it will against Zhilei Zhang, because Zhilei Zhang is a fun heavyweight from China, and he has one-punch stopping power. So we're about to find out what it looks like when Joe Joyce, a.k.a. the Juggernaut, faces an actual puncher that has one-punch stopping power in Zhilei Zhang. Will the chin hold up, or will it crack under the pressure of Zhilei Zhang? You tell me. Now, Zhilei Zhang, oddly enough, has one loss on his record. He's 24-1. And he has been scraping away trying to get at a big opportunity like this. I think the biggest name on his record so far, his biggest win, unfortunately, is Jerry Forrest. He got a majority decision win against Jerry Forrest. He fought Flip Ergovic. Now, that fight that Zhilei Zhang had with Flip Ergovic was interesting because it was on the undercard for the second fight between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk out there in Saudi Arabia or whatever. And Flip Ergovic did win the decision. And he actually won by decision on all three judges' scorecards. But many people who saw that fight really believed that Zhilei Zhang should have got the win. So even though Flip Ergovic won by decision, the boxing fans that closely observed the fight walked away with a newfound respect for Zhilei Zhang's skill set because he put a beating on Flip Ergovic and left Flip Ergovic very hesitant to engage offensively in that fight. And he definitely walked away with a lot of my respect. Zhilei Zhang, it's fun because he now lives in New Jersey. I think he moved out here in like 2021 or something to that effect. And he's been slowly trolling Joe Joyce through these videos. You know, this is under the Queensberry promotional banner of Frank Warren. And Zhilei Zhang has been, taking his shots at Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce been taking his shots at Zhilei Zhang. It's interesting because they're both very likable personalities. And it's really hard to not like either of these two guys. But they're going to step in the ring. And the politics of it all is really kind of strange because, Joe Joyce has wins that are excellent. He got stoppage over Carlos Takam, Christian Hammer. He basically broke down Danny Dubois, got the knockout win, but yet we got, okay, how do I word this correctly? We got Joe Joyce, and he's going to be fighting Zhilei Zhang, and this is going under the WBO ranking order for a crack at Alexander Usyk. The weird part is under the WBA ranking system, they've got Danny Dubois right under Alexander Usyk. And as far as I know, because Tyson Fury doesn't want to fight Alexander Usyk, it looks like Alexander Usyk might fight Danny Dubois, even though he already lost to Joe Joyce, the Juggernaut. So, the shadiness of boxing, politics, and sanctioning bodies. You already know how this goes. Every sport has corruption, y'all. Don't just try to blame boxing for being shady, but yeah, typical boxing nonsense. And those, wins for Joe Joyce obviously have aged phenomenally well. He shut down Joseph Parker. That is a stunning, stunning win and a stunning feather in his cap. But anyways, it looks like it's going to be neither of these guys really back up. So they're going to stand there in the center of the ring, and I'm hoping to see Joe Joyce get cracked something fierce by Zhilei Zhang so we can see how well Joe Joyce's chin can hold up. They're both slow fighters, so there isn't going to be a lot of pretty sweet science boxing going on between these two guys. They're going to stand there in the center of the ring and bang it out. Or they're just going to punch and grab. I don't really know. I don't really see either of them punching and grabbing because I'm sure they want to impress the boxing audiences. And up until this point, Joe Joyce has been an offensive juggernaut and a cardio output machine. If you ever watched Joe Joyce fight, he isn't a one-punch knockout guy, but he's got, most of his fights by stoppage. He overwhelms you with just an avalanche of offense, and he's relentless with it. Zhilei Zhang is a little more selective, but he has more power, so he has more grounds to be selective with his punching because he's trying to put you out of there in a single shot and get you out of the ring and unconscious. It looks like it'll be a stand and bang, kind of fun, brutal to watch affair, or it could be herky-jerky slow with them grabbing and hugging and holding because neither of them wants to take each other's offensive output, although I don't see that possibility. I think this fight will probably end in a stoppage. I think it's going to be a stubborn affair, I'm going to have to lean probably in favor of Joe Joyce because Joe Joyce has a slightly better resume, but I like Zhilei Zhang in this fight. He's a live dog. I'm going to go with Joe Joyce by late stoppage in the second half of the fight. Although I do possibly see it going the whole distance, I don't think it goes the whole distance. I think Joe Joyce is going to win by stoppage. That's my guess. How do you think the fight between Joe Joyce and Zhilei Zhang plays out? Let me know in the comments section. Do you agree with my guesstimate of how it plays out? Do you not agree? Let me know. Let's chop this up. And a lot of implications to whoever wins this fight. Obviously, a crack at Alexander Usyk. We don't really know. Maybe it's possible Joe Joyce ends up getting lined up for a fight with Deontay Wilder because he's high up there on the WBA rankings list and the WIBF ranking list, and he's pretty high up there on the WBC ranking list, and we don't know what the hell is going on with Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. He is lollygagging and just holding up the entire division as a whole. So the co-main event is going to be Mikaela Mayer against Christina Linadartou, and I apologize if I am butchering Christina Linadartou's name. She is a tough girl born in the Dominican Republic but now lives in Greece and trains out there. Now, this is a fun fight. Mikaela Mayer was the former unified super featherweight champion. She lost it just in her last fight in a high-profile fight against Alicia Baumgardner. Most hardcore boxing fans were tuned into that fight because her and Alicia Baumgardner had such a huge rivalry. It was a very close fight. Alicia Baumgardner won by decision. So now we've got Mikaela Mayer fighting Christina Linadartou in this next fight at lightweight. And Christina Linadartou just so happens to be the only girl to have actually beaten Alicia Baumgardner. So this is a fight about bragging rights, even in so much as it is about just getting a victory in her new lightweight division. And it should be fun. You know, Alicia Baumgardner, bless her heart, she has not let Alicia Baumgardner, I'm getting caught up in my words. I'm getting emotional thinking about Alicia Baumgardner's, she is so beautiful. Anyways, so Alicia Baumgardner beat Mikaela Mayer, and at every turn and at every corner has taken every opportunity to rub it into Mikaela Mayer that Mikaela Mayer is a sore loser. She's not going to give Mikaela Mayer the rematch. So Mikaela Mayer is moving up to lightweight, the 135-pound division, the one that's dominated by the undisputed champion, Katie Taylor. But Mikaela Mayer's first fight at 135 is going to be Christina Linadartou, the girl who gave Alicia Baumgardner her only defeat. So can you imagine how much Mikaela Mayer is going to rub it in that she beat the girl that gave Alicia Baumgardner her only loss? You already know the trash talking is going to get very, very heavy between these two should Mikaela Mayer actually pull off the win against Christina Linadartou. And Christina Linadartou is no small task. She's definitely a tough girl. She was one of the best in her division. She only has 2 losses on her record, and her 2 losses are against Katie Taylor and Delphine Persoon, both of them by decision, so she wasn't knocked out. She obviously has pedigree. She beat Alicia Baumgardner. The thing about Christina Linadartou was that she stepped away from the game in 2020 to do the family thing. She had a baby, and she stepped back in the game, fought a woman by the name of Alexandra Vujovic in her most recent fight, but it was more just a get back in the swing of things type of fight. Alexandra Vujovic is 5'19" so she was never really a major threat to Christina Linadartou. Christina Linadartou got her warm-up fight. Now she's stepping up to fight Mikaela Mayer. They're both very similar in that they're both boxers. They like to fight behind a jab. I would say that I would favor Mikaela Mayer in this, even though we haven't really seen her compete in her 135-pound division. Christina Linadartou was able to use her mobility and her ring savvy to beat Alicia Baumgardner in the previous fight. I believe that Mikaela Mayer has better lateral and forward and backward movement and has fought better competition than Christina Linadartou and gotten wins. And for no other reason other than Mikaela Mayer having more seasoning to her resume do I think that she's going to beat Christina Linadartou. So I believe it goes the full distance, but I think Mikaela Mayer is going to win by decision. Oddly enough, maybe this puts her in a better position to fight Katie Taylor, but Katie Taylor already has her fight coming up out there, hopefully in Croke Park against Chantel Cameron. But maybe this will line up a possible super fight between Mikaela Mayer and Katie Taylor. Although what would be really interesting is an undisputed super fight between two undisputed champions in Katie Taylor and Alicia Baumgardner, who is the super featherweight champion right now. Although I don't really know if that's going to happen or what the feasibility is of these moves. But yeah, I'm picking Mikaela Mayer to win this fight by decision. Boxing community, for those of you who are keeping up on women's boxing, I know a lot of you don't. How do you see that fight playing out? Let me know in the comments section. If you haven't left a comment, please feel free to do so. Hit that like button, hit follow, folks. This is Hot Boxing Minute, the future of boxing analysis on TikTok and YouTube. Peace.